Previously on the last Pokemon Crystal SuperMON run. I think I've just ruined the game for some of you, haven't I? And coming up. Hey look at me and my fantastic body. Do you not love me, Gyarados? Welcome to the SuperMON Challenge. This is the series where we grab a Pokemon, we give it 4 moves and 1 life, and we see just how far through Pokemon Crystal we can make it. Sometimes we get all the way to the end and we are considered a SuperMON, and other times, well, we get knocked out quite early in the challenge. And quite honestly, I don't know how well JYNX is going to do. She's who we're running today. She's got no physical defense whatsoever, but she's got a fairly good typing behind her, and she's also got some decent moves, so I genuinely have no idea how far we're going. And now when it comes to moves for JYNX, there are only really 3 offensive types that we want to pick up, I think. The first is going to be Ice Beam. She's got the Ice type behind her, so Stab Ice Beam is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We will put that in slot number 1. That's probably going to be our main attacking move throughout the course of this challenge. In slot number 2, we are going to stick in Psychic. Psychic is a very, very good move for JYNX to have, so we'll have that in number 2. Slot number 3, we are going to go for Attract. JYNX is 100% female, but even if she wasn't, I would still be running a female JYNX, and I would be putting Attract in slot number 3. This is kind of like our Hail Mary for some of those Pokemon with high special defense that we just need to try and incapacitate. And then in slot number 4, we're actually going to go for Bubble Beam. This is directly targeting Jasmine. With Ice and Psychic, we have nothing for Jasmine's Pokemon. Her Magnemite are going to resist both Ice and Psychic type moves, whereas Bubble Beam will at least run neutral. And on top of that, we will get a nice little bonus of having a super effective move for the Steelix. So that means that Jasmine might not be as hard as she could otherwise have been. If we weren't running SuperMON, I would be putting Hidden Power Fire in place of either Bubble Beam or Attract. But because Hidden Power and Return aren't available to us in this challenge, we have to make do with what we've got. Now, as always, I am coming into this challenge with 0 prep work. I had a look at the learn set and thought this seems about right for JYNX, and I really hope that I have made the right choices for the learn set in this one. I think JYNX is either going to do very, very well, or she's going to fail somewhere completely arbitrary. There's going to be no in-between with her. She is one of those Pokemon where she is a glass cannon, and if the luck is on her side, she will probably complete the challenge. If luck isn't on her side, well, who knows where we'll end up. But regardless, we will be taking this run to completion. I've listened to your feedback, and we are going to be taking all of our SuperMON challenges to the bitter end, even if we have to drag them there kicking and screaming. And that does also open the SuperMON challenge back up to some of the less good Pokemon, and at the same time, that opens up 4 moves to some of the better Pokemon. So that is only going to be beneficial for all the Pokemon. And even though SuperMON and 4 moves have very similar rules when it comes to the moves, the way you go into the challenges and the mentality you take is completely different. In SuperMON, we are looking for staying power. We are looking to try and last as long as we can. Whereas in 4 moves, we're trying to get through in as quick time as possible. So while they seem very similar on the surface, they're actually very, very different mentalities I have to take in going into the challenge. It is nice not being against the clock as well, because it means that I can take my time and I can think. Although I am guilty of quite often forgetting that I'm not against the clock and trying to rush my way through battles, not really taking the thinking time that I need. I don't think it would have affected the last challenge. I think that was just really bad luck. But in future challenges, that may come into it, so I do need to remember I can slow down. Now, we've got a very easy start for JYNX. We've got the Ice type behind us. That means we're going to be super effective against Falkner. It's going to be super effective in the Sprout Tower. And then it's also going to be super effective against Bugsy's Ace. We are weak to Fury Cutter, though, so we've got to hope that Ice Beam does a lot of damage against Bugsy. Our first big test is going to be Whitney. We're weak to Rollout, and that could be quite hard-hitting, especially with Miltank being fairly specially defensive. So we're going to have to try and hope for a little bit of luck there. We can't even cheese it with Attract because that Miltank, much like JYNX, is 100% female. Now we'll take this one last encounter of this Ghastly, and then we'll make our way into Violet City. We will do a quick PP heal because we will be using Ice Beam in our first gym, and I don't think there's anything else we really need to do. I don't think the extra 2 levels getting up to the level cap will make any difference in here, so let's start off by one-shotting Spearow. Growing up to level 8, we should be hovering around level 9 by the time we get to Falconer himself. We've got Rod next, he's got 2 Pidgey. If we outspeed and one-shot the Spearow, this is going to be an incredibly easy time as well. We get perfectly up to the level cap, and we can now take on Falconer. He is our first gym leader together today. He is a flying type specialist, leads with Pidgey. So one shot on the Pidgey, could be a one shot on the Pidgeotto as well. Blummin' heck, Jinx, you really are good. You've got 28 in your special attack already. I've only just clocked that figure. I think we might do very well in this one. We might not need to worry too much at all. Now, we have our first badge, we've got 5 points on the board, and in SuperMON, as soon as we've got our first badge, we have no reason not to start climbing the Sprout Tower. And now, while we don't have many Ice Beams left, we've still got a bunch of Psychics, so we can just swap to that for the Bellsprout. We can knock out a further 12 Pokemon without having to heal. Not going to bother with any of the Wild Ghastly, I don't think they're going to be worth it. But I will try and take on quite a few trainers. I might even swap to Bubble Beam for the Hoot Hoot's line, just so that we don't have to go out and heal, because I doubt Hoot Hoot's going to be able to do too much to our Jinx. Even if we've got relatively low defenses, Hoot Hoot is more of a defensively minded Pokemon over an offensively minded Pokemon, so we probably don't need to worry too much. I'm looking forward to knocking out the level 6 Bellsprouts as well. They're going to give us a lot of good stat experience and a lot of good experience points as well. And I believe that Jinx is in the same experience group as Magmar and Electabuzz, so we should be getting fairly good levels throughout the course of the challenge. We're absolutely not in slow, so we don't need to worry about any kind of being under-leveled throughout the course of this challenge. If anything, we're just going to be hitting the level cap over and over again, which could get a little bit frustrating, but I'm sure it'll be fine in the long run. Right, the rival is going to have a little whinge at us. He uses an escape rope, and now we're going to beat up Elderly here. He starts with a Bellsprout, we'll use an Ice Beam, we get rid of it in 1. Here comes another Bellsprout, it goes down in exactly the same way, and we will try the Bubble Beam on the Hoot Hoot. Yeah, Tackle's doing nothing at all. There we go, growing up to level 12. We get the Lantern, and we are also going to get the escape rope from here. I do just want to take on this guy as well. He's got a Bellsprout and a Hoot Hoot, but it's a little bit of extra money, and it's also a little bit of extra experience as well for our Jinx. And with Sprout Tower now completely cleared out, we will leave, we will enter into the Pokemon Center. We definitely need a PP heal. And we will also chat with Elm's Aid. He's going to pretend to give us an egg, but then just leaves. Wonder what's happening with him there. Maybe it's because we can't have any additional Pokemon in the party, and it would crash the game if we tried. In fact, in both SuperMON and the 4 Moves patch, there was a bug for a while where if you said yes to the catching tutorial, the game would just crash. Because I have programmed Pokeballs to not work, so the game didn't know what on earth to do when someone yeeted a Pokeball. So I'm glad I got that fixed, or at least I hope I got it fixed. If I haven't, please do let me know, because that is something I did mean to fix. On this route, we're going to take a couple of battles. Want to pick and choose the best battles for our Jinx. Wooper's a one-shot, and then Birdkeeper Peter here. He's going to be one-shot City as well. I really like, for the Ice type, there are so many Pokemon weak to Ice in the early part of the game. I wonder if that's why Ice types are never really seen commonly in the early part of the game, because you get a lot of Grass, and you get a lot of Flying type Pokemon, don't you? So it would be a little bit unbalanced. Although I really, really, really wish we would be able to see some early Ice types. It's one of my favourite types, and I think it's criminal that there are so few Ice types, because even with all the drawbacks of it having no defences whatsoever, the offensive capabilities of the Ice type are unmatched in my opinion. Being able to break through things like the really bulky dragons, being super effective against ground, flying, grass, and running neutral to a lot of the common types as well. I think Ice is very much slept on, and I can't wait to start running some more Ice types in 4 moves. Because I reckon a Pokemon even like JYNX could end up doing incredibly well in the 4 moves challenge. Now, you may have noticed I was going to go and fight the Slowpoke man there, but Water Psychic types are kind of like our Achilles heel. We've got nothing for them. We've got super or neutral moves, I should say, for most Pokemon, but we don't have anything for that Water Psychic type. So we are going to have to plan around that. We've got a few of them coming up. We've got, of course, Will Slowbro. We've potentially got Misty Starmie. We've got a couple of Slowpokes we can take on as well. And I'm sure there are a couple I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But it is something that we need to watch out for in the course of this challenge. I'm going to buy a bunch of Super Potions here. As much as I like JYNX, and as much as I think she's an offensive powerhouse, I also think that we'll be doing a lot of bag healing with her. Because anytime she gets hit by a physical move, she is going to take a ridiculous amount of damage, unless the Pokemon's offensive stats aren't that great. Now, I don't think we've struggled to one-shot anything so far in the course of this challenge. I think the only Pokemon we didn't one-shot was the rival's first Cyndaquil. So overall, we're doing pretty blooming well so far. Even this Ekans doesn't need a super effective move to get knocked out. We are going to earn some points, by the way, for doing Slowpoke well, so it's not entirely pointless, unlike when we do our time challenges. That is one of the things, actually, when I was considering where to put the points. I wanted to make some of these mundane sections feel like they had a little bit more meaning. Because if you can get through Mahogany Underground, but you know you're not going to get through Price, Jasmine, or Chuck, well, that's still an extra point for your SuperMON challenge. So I do like that balance. So we are now up to 6 points on the board. We've already hit the level cap, and we are probably going to do full trainers in here. We have super effective moves for the lion's share of Pokemon in here. We've got neutral moves for the others. I don't think we're going to be in for a tough time at all here. In fact, we're one-shotting everything with just Ice Beam. We do need to remember, though, to hold on to a couple of Ice Beams for the Scyther. Psychic's going to completely destroy Bugcatcher Benny's Pokemon here. Please do spare a thought for him today. He's not having a good time of it. And now we've got just Bugcatcher Josh left to go as well. He's got a Paras. We will use a Psychic. We will one-shot said Paras. And now we are ready for our second gym leader. This is Bugsy, Bug-type Specialist, leads with Metapod. We're going to one-shot the Metapod with Ice Beam. If we one-shot the Metapod, we one-shot the Kakuna. Here comes the Scyther. We outspeed, we crit, and we take no damage again. What is this JYNX doing? I don't think we even needed to crit to one-shot. 115 in our special attack is phenomenal. In previous challenges, I've talked about like the theoretical maximum best for a stat, and I think 115 is about right for special attack. But we've still got 95 in our speed. So we're still able to get a lot of hits out very quickly, and therefore do an awful lot of damage. Now, we have been at Smokescreen there, so it took us a couple of turns to get rid of the Zubat, but we didn't take too much damage at all, and I was always going to heal after Rival 2 as well. That does get us up to 11 points, and we've already earned our first level towards the fresh level cap. Now, if you're playing on a time challenge, putting the repel on there is a very good idea, because then if you do perfect movement through the Ilex Forest, what you will find, if I can do perfect movement and not completely mess it up and look like a banana, is you should have your repel wear out just as you are approaching the cut tree. So if I've done it correctly, just like that, that means that if you're teaching cut, it is a one fewer menu. One fewer time in the bag, and that's what you need to do on your time challenges. It's those little efficiencies that save the most time. The battles themselves, unless you're running a completely trash Pokemon, don't add that much time. The biggest time saves are in how you treat the overworld and how you treat your movement. And picking and choosing which trainers to face, which to skip, and just weighing up all the pros and cons as you go through the challenge. We do actually have, I was talking about the Water Psychics earlier, I remember where a couple of them are. We've got a couple of Slowpoke to get through. We do have options, though. They are not technically mandatory. They are just quicker in timed challenges to take on the Slowpoke. But if we go down this entrance instead, we don't have to take them on. So we can then take them on during the rockets, or we can go via this entrance again. So that is one way to skip a Pokemon who would not be a good idea for Jynx. If we were going against the clock, I'd probably go in this entrance as well. We do have 2 battles as opposed to 1, but they're 2 very quick battles for Jynx. We can pick up the coin case, but we are still going to take on the Magnemite here. I like taking him on now, A, because it's a bit of early game experience, and B, because I really don't like having the rocket section interrupted. It's bad enough as it is, so anything that we can do in order to avoid prolonging that rocket section, I will absolutely do it. We'll escape rope out now, and we are on the correct path to go and get ourselves the rental Abra. And with that in our bag, we need to get the bike, don't we? Did we get the bike and I forgot to register it? Or did we forget the bike? We got the bike, I just didn't register it. That's fine. We are on the bike now, and at level 19, we will go in to Whitney's gym. I'm going to use Last Carry as a bit of a litmus test here. And then I'm going to check our cash money moolah. Because depending on how much money we've got... Oh, we've got 8,000. I can afford 1 vitamin. Didn't mean to take on Victoria here, but we will. It's not going to make any difference to the course of the challenge. Centric's got a fair amount of defensive stat experience, but focusing on our defense at the moment isn't really going to be a sensible idea, I don't think. So let's go into the mart and let us purchase 1 calcium. We can sell these TMs to get enough money to do that, and 1 calcium. So now our special is going to be slightly higher. You never know, it might make no difference. It might change a couple of ranges. I don't do anything like damage calcs when I do these challenges. I do it all on the fly, because that's the way I like playing this challenge. Right, let's grit our teeth. Let's take on Whitney. 2nd gym leader together today. 3rd gym leader, rather. Normal type specialist leads with Clefairy. We've frozen Clefairy. Great start. Here comes the cow. Rollout crits, but it's a 2-shot. Growing up to level 20, and we have defeated Whitney. I think, you know, that if we'd have low-rolled without that calcium, we might have been in 3-shot range there, potentially, so that could have been the right play after all. Let's go and do another heal in here now. And we do have to do the double up to the the Sudowoodo tree. Haven't got around to coding that yet. Still waiting for your feedback. It is pretty much within the same 24 hours for recording this and the Magmar challenge. So I haven't got around to it. I'm still awaiting your feedback for that. But if you do want to see me create a little way to have Floria come down to the flower shop, regardless of whether you've spoken to her after you defeat Whitney, then I will happily add that to the SuperMON challenge. Now, are we going to one-shot both of these bumhead fire ducks? If we are, I'm going to feel pretty confident in the next section, and we are. Right, my confidence is increasing here. We don't need the Quick Claw today, don't need to get the Dig TM, because obviously we have the Escape Rope. Let us take on Mark here. Again, it's going to be a good test of our special attack, because Kadabra is fairly bulky when it comes to special defense, but we one-shot it. And then, spare a thought for this Portangler. It is going to be devastating for it. 1 Ice Beam to the face knocks it out. And there is Floria for the first time. We've got to get all the way back now to Goldenrod City. And I will try and figure out what order I want to put my items in. I think I'll go Escape Rope, Rental Abra, and then I'll put the Air Balloon at the tippy top once we get that after Chuck. So now we do need to chat with Floria. She is going to give us the Squirts bottle, and then we can do the exact same movement we have just done. Oh, bloody Juggler Irwin, I can't stand him. Him and Super Nerd Tom, the ones with the electric types, are just the absolute worst. Now, I don't want to risk this Sudowoodo today. I don't think it's going to be a good idea to try and knock it out, so we'll just leg it from it. We'll get ourselves the big hammer, and we will also get ourselves the Rock Smash TM to sell for a little bit of money. We didn't get caught by the Drowsy. We see a Stantler here. Stantler was a fun run. Really enjoy running Stantler, but I'm not a big fan of Weird Ear, I've got to be honest. So I doubt we'll be seeing a Weird Ear backport this side of Christmas. Apologies, by the way, for mentioning the silly C word there. I know that we are currently in February, and Christmas is 10 months away. But I've got to start planning fairly soon in case I want to do something complex. We'll take a heal here, and now we'll take on the Kimono Girls. Don't think there'll be any problem at all here. We'll start off with the Flareon. It's going to be a 2-shot on the Flareon. We got burnt as well. How rude of you, Flareon. Thank goodness we are not against the clock, because it means we can just go out and heal again. Always annoying when you get burnt doing the Kimono Girls when you're trying to do quick air critique. It is the one risk of that. Ice Beam on the Espeon. It's a 2-shot stand attack has missed. That's what we like to see. We will also get up to or very close to the level cap with the Kimono Girls here. We crit the Umbreon, so we don't need to worry about that. And now we have 2 fairly easy Pokemon to take on at the end. We start off with the Vaporeon. Once again, it's going to be a 2-shot, but it goes for Tail Whip. And then we should hopefully blast this Jolteon to smithereens. I don't think it's going to withstand an Ice Beam. There we go, through the Kimono Girls. Chat with the man here staring at the stage. We'll get ourselves the Raft and the Surf TM. And now we'll do another heal before we take on rival number 3. And it's just dawned on me, I have not done a cut yet in this video. The other video, we did what? Was it 13 minutes? We're at 20 minutes nearly without a cut. Kind of remarkable that. I do like this slower form of content, but even then I think that is maybe a little bit on the long side without a cut, but I am having fun regardless. We're going to hold on to a berry, by the way, for this battle, because I am a little bit worried about Magnemite's Sonic Boom. We don't have great HP, and I can see a universe where we end up being knocked out via Sonic Boom. I think we're going to get smoke screened by the Squilava. Nope, go straight for Ember. I think that means we've sealed the victory, you know. How much do we do against this Magnemite? We don't do that much. There we go. It is going for Sonic Boom. But that should be all the damage we take in this rival battle. There was definitely a universe where we lost that if we got smoke screened and then couldn't land a hit. Kind of throwbacks to a previous challenge there. But we did make it through. We're going to fall through the floor, we'll release the beast, and while we remember, we are going to pick up this HP up from the Burnt Tower. And with that, let's get ourselves into the next gym. And so all of Morty's gym trainers have been beaten. Let's now take on Morty himself. He's a dual Ghost and Poison type spectacular leader, and he's going to lead with Ghastly. We're going to use Psychic against all of Morty's Pokemon, and it should be as simple as 4 one-shots to get ourselves the next badge. We outspeed everything, and we have no risk at all of going down. So that was a very, very nice Morty battle there, getting ourselves up to 20 points and a fresh level cap of 30. Our next gym leader is going to be Chuck, though, and he could be a little bit mean depending on what happens. We don't have that many PP to get through this next part of the challenge, but we shouldn't be facing too many Pokemon. We want to avoid Norman there with his Slowpoke line today. We don't want to be facing any water Psychic types if we can avoid it. So let's try and time it correctly. We'll take on Derek and Ruth though. We've got a pair of Psychic each for those, although I might risk a Bubble Beam, because I want to take on the Sailor as well. I think he'll be a fairly easy battle for us. We've got Psychic for any fighting types and any water types, and I think it should be a fairly smooth affair. So let's now take him on, and then we'll get ourselves into Olivine proper. He leads with a Poliwhirl. We will use Psychic against Poliwhirl. We'll knock it out in 1. Raticate's next. We'll use a Bubble Beam or 2 here. Hyperfang won't do too much, neither will Quick Attack. Growing up to 26, and then we'll use our last Psychic on the Krabby. I cannot wait until we get PP ups. Technically, we could get one now, but I feel like it's a little too far out of the way. We can surf on the water now, but it's a long way back to Violet City from here. Gonna get ourselves 12 super repels in the Pokemart. We'll then have a little chat with the Burly Man, get his phone number, and then we will go into the Pokemon Center, do a quick PP heal again, and we've got to start climbing the lighthouse. Now, our next gym, like I mentioned, is going to be Chuck, and it's going to go one of two ways. Either we are going to have a fantastic time and we are going to completely annihilate him, or we're going to risk getting landed by a dynamic punch. And if that second situation happens, we could be a little bit banjaxed. So Chuck is a semi-dangerous gym leader. I wouldn't call him completely dangerous, but we should not discount him. I really do like having water, psychic and ice as our types here. I think they complement each other very, very well. I do kind of wish that I had a fifth move so I could stick on something like Thief, just so that we had something for the water psychics. But as it stands, most of the water psychics aren't that bad. We've had a chat with Jazz, we've got the rare candy, let's get out of here. And let us go back into the Pokemon Center, do another quick PP heal, and then we'll make our way over the open seas. Oh, it's Monday in game. That's why Monica's there. I started this one last night and it is now the next day. So that is why Monica's showing her face there, because I always start on a Sunday. So that is a force of habit, and I just have never changed the habit ever since. Let's now get ourselves into gym number 5, where I would be worried about the gym trainers, but we've got ridiculous special attack, so I think we're going to have a good time. I wouldn't have expected anything different there. We wouldn't hit everything on our way through up to Chuck. Now, I am going to hold on to the Minceberry just in case he goes for any hypnosis shenanigans, but we will now take him on. He is a fighting type specialist here in Signwood City, and he leads with Primeape. We're going to start off with a Psychic, we'll one-shot, and then here comes the Poliwrath. Do we one-shot? Yes, we do. No need to worry at all about Chuck, and that is the Storm Badge acquired. We are now up to 23 points, and we have a fresh level cap of 31. Now, I am in a bit of a quandary here, because I am trying to figure out whether it is worth risking Jasmine, who might not be the easiest battle in the world, or whether we waste our experience points and do the rockets and go into Price first. I don't know, quite honestly. I would like to be able to do Jasmine, but I'm not sure if we are strong enough to defeat her Steelix at the moment. I'm not even sure we're strong enough to one-shot her Magnemite. We will be able to get the Mystic Water though, so that is an option. I am going to try and take on just a couple of wild battles. Really lucky there, actually, to get a pair of Tentacruel in a row. We'll get the rare candy. I'm not going to use that, though, to get up to the next level. There's no sense in using those until we get into the Pokemon League, because experience points, while maybe not as plentiful as other challenge run, because experience points, while maybe not as plentiful as other games, they are still available here in Crystal fairly easily. We've got a bunch of trainers we can take on. We'll get the Mystic Water. I think we'll only use that for the Jasmine battle. I can't think of anywhere else where that will come in handy. I'm trying to think, what else should we do to prepare while I am trying to figure out what to do. I do have a feeling, you know, I am going to risk it, but I might chicken out and I might just take the extra hit on the time it'll take for this challenge. We aren't against the clock, so I can take my time. It's just more about, do I have the mental willpower to go through the rocket section, knowing that I'm not getting anything from it at all. Let's pick up the charcoal. We can sell that for a bit of cash money moolah. And in fact, we're going to go over to Goldenrod now. And we are going to, first of all, try and ignore Campertod. We'll run away from a rat as well. And we will pick up the extra nugget and the extra rare candy. And then we're going to go for a bit of a vitamin shop. Going to focus it entirely on our calcium. Calcium is going to increase our special, and that is exactly what we need. Now, how many calcium can we fit in? I've got a little cheat sheet here. We can fit in 6 calcium. So let's start off by selling the nuggets. We will sell the charcoal as well. And then we'll sell all of these TMs that we have. We can sell our balls, and then we'll see how many we can afford. We can afford 5 with that. Oh, we could sell the PP up and the HP up and get ourselves maxed out already. Yeah, that's what we'll do. It's going to be annoying because it means we're going to be 1 PP up down for the challenge. But I think it's worth it to really just maximize our special as much as we can. Did I not pick up the Mystic Water? Did I sell the Mystic Water? I might have sold the Mystic Water by accident. No, we're holding it. Don't mind me. Bit of a brain fart. Sometimes happens. Let's get ourselves back to Olivine. We've got 115 in our special attack. Once we get up to level 31, I think we'll be fine against Jasmine. And so we are now going to make our way to the top of the lighthouse. I am going to chicken out, you know. I don't think it's going to be a good idea. I think we might need to be slightly higher leveled. Don't have the greatest confidence in the world for Jasmine, just thinking about how much we've done against certain other Pokémon. So we're going to leave here, and then we're going to try and slightly change our routing around the Lake of Rage. I have a lot of trainers that I normally take on as I'm going to the lake. I'm going to try and avoid them all on this challenge now until after we have defeated Price, because that will be a nice and relatively quick way to level up. So Miller and the Pokemaniacs on the route below are going to have to wait. Now we are going to have to get ourselves through the Red Gyarados. That is going to be no mean feat for our JYNX. But I am hoping that we should be able to do at least a 2-shot on it. An electric move would have been glorious for our JYNX here, but there's not much we can do. Let us go and grab the rare candy. We are also going to pick up all the items here. I want the elixir because we have 1 PP up fewer than we normally have at this point in the challenge. I'm going to pick up the Detect TM, and I'm going to pick up Hidden Power just to sell for money later. Probably going to start putting them in a bit of the defensive stats now, because even though early game I said it wasn't a good idea to go for them, we've maxed out our special now, so we have no reason not to, and we don't need to go for the speed. Right, let's grit our teeth, and we'll have a practice against this Magikarp. This is the Gyarados. Let's see how it goes. I'm wondering, you know, do we make our JYNX attract the Gyarados and go, hey, look at me and my fantastic body. Do you not love me, Gyarados? Say you love me as I murder you. There we go. Didn't need to worry at all. Didn't need to attract either, but it was fun, wasn't it? Here's Lance. He's saying some rubbish as always. Let's fly to Mahogany. Let's get into the rocket section. And let's move on and never ever speak of what we've just heard ever again. Well, that's 5 minutes of my life I'm never seeing again, but we are now through this rocket section. We've got ourselves the Whirlpool and the Bath Plug, and we can now finally face another gym leader again. Let's get the heck out of here, and let us do a very quick PP heal, make sure we're at maximum PPage for the next gym, and we will take on Border Douglas today, I think. Even though we're not going to gain any experience points from it, I do still want this defensive stat experience. Of course, Cloyster has to stall us a little bit. Got to be annoying like that, haven't you? But it was a very easy battle. Let us now take on Price as our 6th gym leader today. He is an Ice-type specialist, leads with Seal. Psychic is not quite a one-shot on the Seal, but all he does back is an Ice Beam. We'll use a Parapsychic on this Dugong. Headbutt hits for negligible damage. And then let's do an Ice Beam on the Piloswine, and we critical hit and we knock it out. Easy battle. Wouldn't have expected anything less from the disappointment that is Price. We're now going to leave, and I'm now going to do a fair amount of grinding. We're going to get up to level 35 in preparation for Jazz. I think we have done everything we can to prepare for Jasmine now. We'll either win or we will go down with a fight. This is Jasmine. She's our 7th gym leader together today. Still type specialist, leads with Magnemite. I'm just thinking, is Ice Beam stronger than Bubble Beam because of Price's Ice-type badge boost? I think it might be. Well, it one-shot, so take from that what you will. Now for the Steelix. Ice Beam, one-shot. And one-shot, we're through. We are through Jasmine. She was the one gym leader in all of Johto who I was terrified of. I was convinced that no matter what we did, we would end up going down there. I don't know if we got lucky with ranges or if that was a consistent fight. I don't mind either way. We are through, we can leave, and we can never think about Jasmine anymore. That means we can start heading through to JYNX's home, actually, the Ice Path. This is where she lives in regular gameplay. So I'm sure she'll be very, very happy going through here now. It'll be a little bit of feeling like home, a little nostalgic comfort for our JYNX. There's a term in Welsh called hiraeth, which is that longing of wanting to go back home as the closest translation to English. Well, I get a feeling that JYNX might have had a bit of that. So we are very happy to be able to take her through here. That's probably why she beat up Jasmine. She wanted to get through into the Ice Path as quickly as she possibly could. She didn't even bother beating up the Pokémon. That was all a ruse. She just knocked out Jasmine and stole the badge off her. I feel like that's the kind of thing JYNX would do, to be fair. She doesn't seem like the most reputable I was going to call her a person. She's a Pokémon. But she doesn't seem like the most reputable Pokémon out there, to be fair. We've got full items here in the Ice Path. Stands to reason we're going to because we're an Ice type. We will now go in to Blackthorn and we will go down the wrong ledge initially, but we'll correct ourselves to get the elixir. And once again, mistime that particular movement. We'll get the nugget. And we are desperate for a PP up, so we'll get this one. And then, just in case, we'll get the Periscure Berry here as well. With that, we've done everything we need to. That's the wrong city. Let's get ourselves over to Goldenrod. I'll start the rockets, and we'll rejoin for Rival 4. And so we are now about a third of the way through the rockets, and I completely forgot that the other entrance gets blocked off for the rocket section, so we do have to take on this Slowpoke. But Bubble Beam hasn't been as much of a dead weight as I thought it would be at this point in the challenge. It is really good as just a spammable move for all the weak Pokemon. It means I've had to heal an awful lot less. Now we will take on Rival 4. He leads with Golbat. Golbat's going to disappear in front of our very eyes. He tries with Sneasel. We don't have anything great for Sneasel, so we're just going to use a pair of Ice Beams. Feint Attack does next to nothing at all. We don't really mind that little bit of damage. Bubble Beam is a one-shot on the Quilava there, so it is coming in handy for that. We'll use a Bubble Beam on the Magnemite as well. And then let's use an Ice Beam on the Haunter. Very good stuff there. Really easy rival battle. JYNX got through without any problems. That means for me there are even more rockets. Let's get ourselves up to the top of the radio tower. And so we have made it to the very top of the radio tower. We've only got the one final executive to deal with. He leads with Houndour. We will use a Bubble Beam. We'll knock it out in one. Here comes Houndoom. And it's another one shot. Final Pokemon is coughing. We'll use an Ice Beam. We'll get rid of it straight away. And we are through the rockets for another challenge. Thank goodness for that. That means we are now getting towards the end game with 33 points to our name. Now, we don't need the pink bow today, so we're going to go straight into the radio card. It is 1, 2, 1 and 2 to get yourself the radio card. You'll need that to get through the Snorlax and Kanto. But now we will fly over to Blackthorn. We'll heal our power points because we are still running fairly low power point moves. And we'll make our way into the next gym together. This is Claire's Dragon-type gym. Now, do spare a thought for Claire and all of her gym trainers here. They're not going to have a good time of it. We're running a very, very high special attack Pokemon. In fact, does JYNX have, at least in Generation 2, one of the highest special attacks for an Ice type? I think that might be accurate, so regardless, they're going to have a really, really rotten time of it in here. So we are going to breeze our way through this gym. We've got a few gym trainers to take care of, including this one who's complaining about not having any dragons. But we don't care. Dragon or not, we will hit them with a weird psychic beam, and they'll just vanish off our screens. We'll now break our ankles, because health and safety isn't a thing here in Claire's gym. And we'll keep spamming our moves. I think I'll go for Ice Beam on these Dragonair, because I'm not 100% sold on it being a one-shot. But you never know, it could have been a one-shot there. We'll use Psychic against the Dratini, and then we'll use a Psychic against this level 36 Dragonair. That went down. Now, I am going to hold on to the Nevermelt Ice, just in case for this battle. Actually, no, changed my mind. Gonna hold on to the Perizkia Berry. We've got 2 of them. And we get a 3rd in Kanto. It's just in case of any Dragon Breath shenanigans. I don't think it's going to happen, but better to be safe than sorry. Claire leads with Dragonair, we'll get rid of it. Ice Beam is laser focused on that Dragonair. She went for Surf, so we are now guaranteed to win. If I do not change what buttons I am holding down, there will be absolutely nothing Claire can do. Don't have a badge yet, though, even though we did her battle in 5 shots. We do now need to leave here and get ourselves into the Dragon's Den. And this next battle always gives me a great sense of satisfaction. It is Cool Trainer Darren with his Dragonair that gets an Ice Beam to the face. You can run off and cry to Claire now, Darren. We've got better things to be getting on with, like getting this Max Elixir and making our way through the Whirlpool. In the Dragon Shrine itself, we do need to do the exact same answers that we just did for the radio card, 11212, and that will mean that Claire will enter in. She will pretend to be shocked, although I'm sure she knows we're a very good trainer, and we will receive the Rising Badge. That gets us our new level cap of 42. We also have 36 points on the board, and it is time to leave Johto and head towards Victory Road. On our way up to Victory Road today, we need to be a little bit smart as to who we take on. We can't really take on our standard trainers because they both have Starmie, and we don't have anything fantastic for Starmie. So we're going to start off here with Megan. She's got the full Bulbasaur line available for us, so she's a very good trainer to battle in this instance. Let's have a think. Who else shall we do? We can take on this Fisher here. He's got Quillfish. They're going to be absolutely fine for us to knock out. He also has a Seeking after that. Don't know what he's thinking about doing with 2 Quillfish and a Seeking, all in the level 30s taking on the league, but we won't question it. Bloody hell, that flail was scary. Thought for a second we could have gone down to a random Fisher there. Very glad that we didn't. We'll go and do a quick heal here, and we will take on the Pescion as well. We've got Ice Beam for the Pescion. We should be absolutely fine. Might be a one-shot, might be a two-shot. It is a one-shot on that Pescion. We do need to try and get as close as we can to level 42. Who else should we take on? Who is going to be easy? Possibly this trainer. He's got a Parasect and maybe a Golduck. We can use Ice Beam on the Parasect to get it away straight away. And yeah, he's got a Golduck as well. Probably going to be a two-shot with Psychic. Or a one-shot. Jinx, you are just showing me up and showing that I know absolutely nothing. We will have to take on Beth. There's nothing we can do here. I'm just going to hope that Psychic is strong enough to one-shot, which it is. And we now get to level 42. That is what we want. We'll grab this Max Elixir. We'll do the quick loop-de-loop. And we'll enter into Victory Road, where I've discovered we're not wearing a repel. We'll knock out this Golbat for not wearing a repel, and then we'll just stick on a super so that I can then do a max when we are ready for Kanto, providing we get there. Let's pick up the HP up so we've got something for Karen. Don't need anything else. And now we are ready for the 5th and final rival battle. No matter what happens now, we are not going to be seeing the rival again. He leads with Sneasel. We'll use Ice Beam against the Sneasel. Fury Cutter does next to nothing, and we are on to Typhlosion. Going to start off with an Ice Beam against Typhlosion, and we get the freeze, because then we can knock it out with Bubble Beam. Wasn't a guaranteed freeze, obviously, but I knew it was going to be a 1-2 with that. We're holding on to the Perizkia Berry. That's good, because this Magneton will try and Thunder Wave us, but we can two-shot it with Ice Beam. We've got Ice Beam for the Haunter as well. That just leaves Kadabra, and we'll keep on using Ice Beam. Final rival battle could have been scary if we weren't holding the Perizkia Berry, but we were, so we get through very, very easily. We'll do a quick heal. We will purchase as many full restores as we can. We're not that rich. Let's buy 18 of them. Definitely don't need 18, but that is how many we are going in with. And we'll take a look at our stats going into the league. We are level 42 with 125 HP. Not holding anything at the moment, but we do have Psychic, Ice Beam, Attract, and Bubble Beam. Just 61 in attack, 65 in defense, 133 in special attack, 117 in special defense, and 111 in speed. Do remember those are just the out of battle stats. We will get a big buff in battle, as we'll see in a moment, against Will. And now, as for our chances through the league, I reckon we'll be fine against Will, apart from maybe his own Jinx and the Slowbro. I think those two could prove to be a little bit tricky and might end up with a reset if we get unlucky. Koga's going to be fine. He's a poison type. We've got the psychic type. It's a no-brainer there. Bruno, if we can one-shot his Machamp, we'll be absolutely fine. Then we've got Karen. Karen is a question mark. I genuinely don't know. She is, out of all the league members, the one we're most likely to lose to. And if we get through Karen, I think we're highly likely to get through Lance on this occasion. But now let's get ourselves into the league. What items should we hold? I'm thinking actually the Mint Berry in case Jinx tries to send us to sleep. This is Will, our first league member, Psychic type specialist, leads with Xatu. Xatu's a freebie, we have Ice Beam, it will go down. Here comes the Jinx. Ice Beam's probably our best move. Should go straight for Psychic. Another Psychic, didn't need the berry after all. Slowbro's next. We've frozen it. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Critical hit knocks it out. Final Xatu goes away, and we've just got Executor left to go. One more Ice Beam equals a victory for our Jinx, and we are through Will. We're not going to bother with rare candies for Koga. I don't think we need them. We will, however, heal up our health, and I'm going to use an Ether on our Ice Beam. Now, what do we want to hold? Do we have a PSN Cure Berry? I can't remember if I bothered picking one up. I don't think I did. No, I didn't, so we'll just keep on holding this. We are on to our second league member now, though. This is Koga, Poison type specialist, leads with Ariados. Psychic's a one-shot on Ariados. You wouldn't expect anything less. Fortress. Ice Beam maybe and hope it doesn't explode. Frozen again. Jinx, you are getting very, very, very lucky with your freezes. Crobat goes down, and up next is the Muck. Possibly going to be a two-shot on this Muck. No, it's a one-shot. What do I know? Talking absolute rubbish. Goodbye, Venomoth. That is Koga defeated. Level cap goes up to 46. We are level 43 at the moment. But we are going to use 3 of our 7 rare candies. I got the other rare candies, by the way, in the Whirl Islands and in Mount Mortar. Now, what do we want to do for Bruno? Is there anything else I need to do before getting into the battle, or do we just go for it? I think we'll just go for it. We'll see what happens. Bruno is our third league member, fighting type specialist, leads with Hitmontop. Psychic's a one-shot. Hitmonchan comes out. We take guaranteed damage from Muck Punch, but we knock it out. Onyx is third. We'll use Bubble Beam. We might as well waste some PP on it. Machamp, please be a one-shot. Yes, we're through. We are through. Bruno is defeated. Nothing at all to worry about. 50 points on the board, and we are at our nemesis, Karen. For Karen, we are going to use a Bitter Berry as our held item. We're going to use a Super Potion to get back up to full health. We are then going to use the HP up that we picked up in the Victory Road. We'll use the Max Elixir to get ourselves up to maximum PP again, and then we are also going to use a Rare Candy. Get ourselves up to level 47. This is going to be all about the RNG at Karen. Sand Attack hitting us will be curtains for us, but if Sand Attack misses, I think we're in with a good chance. Confuse Ray, perfect. We are at full accuracy. We have a chance of being burnt by this Houndoom. That would be bad. A crit would also have knocked us out, but she is now healing looping her Houndoom. 2 Bubble Beams gets rid of it. Psychic will one-shot this Gengar, I'm absolutely sure of it. Murkrow comes out, we can use Ice Beam, it will go away. Now, Ice Beam will also one-shot the Vileplume. We're through. We've beaten Karen. We are so lucky that we discovered the HP up trick. That is what caused Karen to go for Confuse Ray there. The HP up trick saved our bacon. We're going to use a full restore, and we are going to use just a regular elixir. We are now at maximum HP, maximum PP for the last battle. And what item shall we hold on to? Mystic Water, I think, is possibly the best. Maybe not, actually. What else do we have, though? Don't think there's any held item. We could hold on to Nevermelt Ice. Let's do that. And let's engage Lance in battle. He is the liar with the flyers. He is the final obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame. He leads with Gyarados. I'm expecting a rain dance from this Gyarados. That's exactly what happens when we two-shot it. That means that this Charizard doesn't have a chance in the world. Bubble Beam knocks it out in one, and we can do the same against the Aerodactyl. Lance has played himself here. He now has 3 dragons, all quad weak to ice. We have 178 in battle special attack. It is all over, barring the singing, for Lance, and we get through the Hall of Fame. We are now at 64 points on the board for our JYNX, and we are through the first part of this challenge. Let's get JYNX's entry in the Hall of Fame now. We can be very proud of what we've done so far, but this is potentially only half of the story. There are still up to another 8 gym badges and hopefully a red fight left to come, so I tell you what, you'd better not dare go anywhere, because Kanto is next. And now we are rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we'll do is we'll go into the Pokemon fan club, have a little chat with the chairman, and we'll get a rare candy from him. With that safely tucked away in our bag for another challenge, we will now do the brief but mandatory Cantonian storyline. And while we're getting on with this storyline, we need to figure out what gym leaders we're going to face in what order, because it is very important in SuperMON that we pick the right gym leaders at the right time, otherwise we could end up going down. There are a couple of gym leaders who I think could prove to be problematic. Misty is one, because her Lapras could perish Song, and then could potentially stall us with her Starmie. The other one is Surge. I don't know how much the Magneton will do, or how much the Magneton will survive, I should say. Not going to bother doing Rock Tunnel in the dark. We've got the Lantern, so we should just get through very easily. I don't know why I tried to do it in the dark on the last challenge and this one, but I do need to get better at it. I've been a bit out of practice lately doing a lot of SuperMON and a lot of challenges where we've ended up climbing Sprout Tower, so I'm not exactly in practice like I used to be. But yeah, I think that both Surge and Misty should be saved until quite late on. Erica, on the other hand, will be absolutely free. We can take her on whenever we like. I do think as well that Brock will be fine. I'm quietly confident about Blaine. I don't think Blaine will cause any problems. And then we've got Sabrina. Now, Sabrina is a little bit of a question mark. It depends how much our Ice Beam does against her Pokemon. So I'll probably leave her till the latter half of our gym leaders. For now, though, let's take on Nugget Bridge. We've got to get through it at some point, so now seems like an apt a time as any to do it. We'll start making our progress towards our next level cap as well. And I'm not too sure what I want to talk about in this one. Didn't come in with a topic in mind. I have been having a lot of fun planning for the future here on the channel. I'm not 100% sold on the Fire Red series again. I really want to get into that game, but there's just something about it. I don't get the perfect vibes. When I'm playing, I'm really happy, and I really am having fun. But it's just that time beforehand, before getting into the runs there, that I'm like, do I really want to do this? I could do another Crystal challenge. People like Crystal, I like Crystal, so why not just stick with what we know? So the Fire Red videos are probably going to be intermittent. It's got to be when I can allow my brain, or when I should say, my brain allows me to play the game. That's a very big thing when you're neurodivergent. You've got to fight against your own brain quite a lot of the time in order to get stuff done. Like, there have been times where I've sat down and got ready to record a Pokemon Crystal challenge, and my brain has gone, no, can't do it. hold off a little bit. Doesn't happen too often, but there are definitely periods where that has happened, and that's happening to me at the moment with Fire Red. I appreciate it's been about 4 weeks since we've last done a Fire Red challenge. I do have an idea of who I want to run next. It's just a case of sitting down and getting the brain to cooperate with it. It will eventually happen and we will go back to Kanto in Fire Red, but at the moment I am very happy in Crystal. You never know, we might bring back some Emerald runs as well. I really do like Emerald as a game. It's just incredibly mentally taxing to do. It's one of those games where it feels like it goes on forever, but it's a really, really tricky challenge. It's the hardest of all 3, I suppose 4 if you count Yellow, games that we have played together here on the channel. So I do want to get good at it. I want to try and do with Emerald especially what I did with Pokémon Crystal. We've forgotten to go to Lavender, haven't we? Thank goodness we're not against the timer. Too busy waffling away there. Let's get ourselves into Lavender. Let's have a little chat with this guy. Sorry, we forgot about you. We need the X-Men card. Thank you and goodbye. Let's pretend that never happened, and let's now get ourselves back to the Sleepy Snorlax. It does mean my repel is going to be out of sync, though, which is very, very annoying. There we go. That's the wrong channel. What is the channel? It's right near the top. We are not even going to bother trying to knock out this Snorlax. We're just going to run away like a wimp. And because we are running SuperMON, do you know what that means? It means we can say hello to everyone's favourite friend of the channel. It's time to battle 3 Drill. It has been so long since we battled him. I wasn't feeling like it in the Electabuzz video. I was really down on myself, I've got to be honest, about the end of the Electabuzz video. If you haven't seen it, apologies for the spoilers, but do go back and watch it. I really wanted to do better with Electabuzz, so I am even more determined now to do even better with JYNX. I don't want to feel bad about the end of this one as well. And then in the next challenge, by the way, we are going to run the Bumhead Fireduck. It's going to be the turn of a Magmar in SuperMON. And now we are through the storyline. We will take on Brock. He's our first Cantonian leader. He is a Rock-type specialist, led with Graveler that went down in 1. Omastar goes down as well. If we one-shot Omastar, we're going to one-shot everything. It is as simple as that. The only thing that would stop us is if the Kabutops uses Endure, which it doesn't. So now we are on Easy Street, and we get our first of our Cantonian badges. Up to 67 points on the board, and we can now leave. We don't have to worry about 3 Drill movements because we've already beaten him. Now, who should we take on next? That is the question. We're heading towards Blaine, and I don't think he'll be that bad, so we can think about taking him on. We can do our routing of Blaine into Janine, and then from Janine we can then pick and choose the rest from there. So we'll do a little surf down to Cinnabar Island, or at least what's left of it. We'll pick up the rare candy, and we'll chat with Blue. By the way, we only need to get up to level 56. We have 2 rare candies that we get here in Kanto. Both of those together can be put in, and we will reach our new level cap. We do need to use another repel here. I only used a super because I'm an absolute fool. I will now take on Blaine. Blaine is the fire-type specialist of the Cinnabar Gym. He leads with Magcargo. We'll use a quad super effective Bubble Beam against the Magcargo. We'll knock it out in 1. Up next is the Bumhead Fireduck. We use Psychic and we knock it out in 1 as well. Probably not going to one-shot this Rapidash, so we'll go for an Ice Beam. Fire Blast hits, it does not crit, and we do survive. We could have been knocked out there had Fire Blast crit, so we should thank our lucky stars that it didn't. We'll do a very quick bag heal here, and we'll make our way over to Janine. It's going to be a nice and easy gym now after we have taken on Blaine, who was admittedly scarier than I thought he would be. I thought we'd do a little bit more against the Rapidash than we did. Let's now take on Janine. She is our next gym leader, leads with Crobat. It's going to be one-shot city here, by the way. Absolutely no point in even commentating this battle. I don't think it deserves it, because it is just about holding down the A button. I'm playing the game with myself as to whether Janine wastes her money. She doesn't today, she knows her fate, and we do defeat Janine. Soul Badge acquired, we can now leave, and we'll go over to Celadon next. And that is all of Erica's gym trainers taken care of. We can now face Erica. She's our next gym leader. Grass type specialist leads with a Tangler. We're just going to hold down Ice Beam for this battle. We'll grow up to level 56 as well. That means we can use our rare candies after defeating Janine. There's no possible way we lose this battle. Ice Beam is super effective against all her Pokémon, and we do defeat her. That gets us the Rainbow Badge up to 76 points as well. And now we will go out and use our 2 rare candies that we have. They are right at the bottom of the bag, aren't they? Let's use 1 and 2, and at the same time we'll swap to the leftovers that we picked up in the cafe. Now, it does not matter which order we face the next gym leaders in, because we are at the level cap. However, we do still want to try and factor in who is going to be the easiest out of the 3 of them. Well, I think it's going to be Sabrina next. She lives here in Saffron City. She's a psychic type specialist, much like ourselves, and she leads with Espeon. Hoping for 3 one-shots with Ice Beam here. Not a guarantee, but it is highly, highly likely. 1 down, 2 down, and 3 down. That gets us now up to 79 points with the Marsh Badge, and we will escape her gym. After Sabrina, let us do Misty, I think. I think Misty is going to be easier than Surge. I hope, anyway. Let's see. This is Misty. She's a water type specialist. She's got a very scary Lapras. She leads with Golduck. We can one-shot the Golduck with our Psychic. Starmie's next. Interesting. Spadef drop. Kind of like that. That means we can use an Ice Beam there. We've got Quagsire. That's going to be an Ice Beam to the face to knock it out. And we finally have Lapras. Psychic's not going to be a one-shot. Surf does nothing, though. We are through. Good stuff. Cascade Badge acquired. 82 points. We have 2 gym leaders left. We are really saving the dangerous gym leaders until last. Do we still have a Periscure Berry, or do I need to grab this extra one? We do still have one. We will swap the leftovers for that. But we will take a cheeky little heal here in the Lavender Pokemon Center. Seeing as we are right there, we have to take on Lieutenant Surge next. The only rule in the Kanto section of SuperMON is you face blue last. And that is just because your level cap will be put up to level 81 for red. We'll get through this tree. We've got 1 mandatory trainer to do here at Surge's gym. It's Eggy Greggy with his Pikachu and Fluffy. There'll be absolutely no issue. And now we can enter into a battle with Surge. He is our penultimate gym leader, hopefully. And he leads with Raichu. We'll use Ice Beam against the Raichu. It's a one-shot, it goes away. Electrode comes out, we more than outspeed it. We knock it out in 1. Magneton, are you a one-shot? Yes, you are. Right, we're fine. I always forget just how pathetic Surge's Magneton is if you save him till last. Surge done. Thunder Badge acquired. 1 more gym leader. We're up to 85 points. We are a mirror of our level cap. That last gym leader is Blue, and I'm quietly confident about Blue, I've got to be honest. I don't think he's going to cause too many issues. We have very good attacks, and we have a good typing for this battle. We are going to hold on to the leftovers once more. So we'll now engage Blue in battle. He is our final gym leader regardless of what happens. He is, of course, a mixed type trainer who leads with Pidgeot. We'll use Ice Beam against Pidgeot, and it goes down in 1. There's only 1 scary Pokemon here, and that is Arcanine. Do we attract, or do we go for Bubble Beam? I think we go for Bubble Beam and hope that Flamethrower doesn't crit. It hasn't crit, it hasn't burnt. We can get through it. Up next is Alakazam. We'll use Ice Beam. We knock it out in 1. We've got a freebie with Rhydon as well. Ice Beam will absolutely one-hit it. Here comes the Gyarados. This is another potentially bad Pokemon, you know. He could go for Hyper Beam. I'm going to attract it. Infatuation's great. That means we are healing as well. It's in love. Hyper Beam has hit. We survived on 1. We survived on 1. That attract saved our bacon. We get through Executor, and that is Blue defeated. We got super duper lucky. But we are facing red in the SuperMON challenge with our JYNX. Let's do a celebratory heal here. Let us get ourselves down to Professor Oak's laboratory, see what he's got to say for himself today as we unlock Silver Cave. And we are on our way to face Red with Jinx. I legitimately thought we would lose the challenge at some point in this part. I legitimately thought we would lose the challenge at some point with Jinx. I never ever thought we would be facing Red in SuperMON with Jinx. It just shows just how good she is. Now, we did get the candy jar from Blue, and in the Electabuzz video, I completely forgot to use it. We are allowed to get ourselves up to the next level cap. So I'll tell you what, I will do that, and I'll also make my way into Silver Cave, and we'll meet back up for Red. So no matter what happens now, this is the final battle of the challenge. I am very happy with how this challenge has panned out. This is Red. He leads with Pikachu. We're only battling 5. Pikachu was always going to go down there. We've got Zard next. I am going to attract this thing and hope for the best. Infatuation's great. We'll go for an Ice Beam. Flamethrower hits. That's not good, but it doesn't do too much. We knock it out in 2. Peskeon is next. I am hoping it will go for Reflect. Reflect is what we want to see here. Absolutely wonderful. We'll finish it off with Ice Beam. This is the problem Pokemon. We're going to use Ice Beam on turn 1 and hope it goes for Amnesia, which it does. We're then going to attract it. Infatuation is what we want to see. Infatuation will prevent it from attacking us. We are also regaining health as this happens. Rest, not great. We can deal with Rest though. I'm going to swap to Psychic. I'm going to try and fish for a Spadef drop. Spadef drop would be absolutely fantastic. It's not likely to happen, but it could happen. Infatuation is what we're looking for as well, just like that. Psychic, please do a lot of damage. Body Slam has hit. Not paralyzed us though, and we can knock out the bear. Venusaur is next. Venusaur is free. Venusaur is very free. I think it's going to go for Solar Beam. So I'm going to use Bubble Beam to try and fish an extra turn of heal. It went and took in Sunlight. We can use Ice Beam to knock it out. And we are on to Blastoise. I think 2 Psychics will knock out this Blastoise. There's one. Rain Dance. We win. Jinx has done it. Jinx has only bloody gone and done it. She is our next SuperMON. Go on, be honest. Who thought at the start of this challenge Jinx would be one of our SuperMONs? I certainly didn't. Let's get her on the board. And so we can give Jinx her gold box there. She is joining Sandslash, Nidoking, Clefable, Victory Bell, Gengar, Starmie, Lapras, and Tyranitar as a SuperMON. And we are getting very close to completing our second row of Pokemon. I am very, very, very happy. I'm over the moon with how this run went. I think we had a bit of luck in places, but it definitely was a fun one. Now, if you have enjoyed yourself, please do make sure to leave a like. It really does help out. If you want to see more challenges, by the way, just like this, you can always click the subscribe button. If you want to see these challenges as soon as they are ready and uploaded, you can always join the channel membership and become a HM friend. It's only a couple of quid a month, and you get all the videos literally as soon as they are rendered and uploaded. Now, if you've got any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. I always love reading what you've got to say about these challenges. But until next time, I will say thank you all so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, and I'll catch you all very, very soon. Can't believe we did it with Jinx.